So I find a lot of cool deck lists in my inbox, and if you guys ever have anything that you're messing around with and testing, feel free to send it over. If I find time to put it in a slot or something, then we'll do just that. So this is Dogmatica Sacred Beast with your one splashable shut-all engine to give you access to the toolbox. So what are we doing here? Haman. Ooh, engine to get to Haman. Pretty easy, right? So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 copies of the Chaos Summoning Beast. So this is the one that lets you social summon a Uri, Haman, or Ravael from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. And then it lets you add the field spell, which is Fallen Paradise, from your deck to your hand. So this will get us out to our Divan God. The Dark Beckoning Beast, normal, you get to recruit for our god or a card that lists it, and then it lets us get the normal summon of another fiend monster. Hee. Then we have Dark Summoning Beast. Tribute this to summon out our Haman from the deck. Pretty straightforward. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 Uriah, Haman, or Ravael from your deck to your hand. So pretty cool things that we can do on a tribute body. Also, I mean, this will let you literally roll out the Dark Summoning Beast to get to your tribute summon. We also have the 1 Darkest Diabolsis, triple copies of Dogmatica Ecclesia, 2 copies of Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted, and 1 copy of Dogmatica Maximus. And then on a spicy backburner choice here, we have the 1 copy of Fallen of Albaz, just for some interesting combinations of things for this. We have 2 copies of Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder, 2 copies of Radion, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 2 copies of the Cerulean Skyfire, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and then our 2 copies of Fallen Paradise. Basically, the main thing we care about here is getting the draw power off of this. So, triple copies of Nadir, 1 for 1. Triple copies of the Opening of the Spirit Gates, with 1 Awakening of the Sacred Beast, 1 Punishment, and 1 copy of Schism. Extra deck down here, we have 2 Almirage, 1 Crusadia Avermax, 1 Boral Sword Dragon, 1 Barricade Borg Blocker, 1 Wind Pegasus, with 1 Omega, 2 copies of Titanclad, 1 Starving Venom, 2 copies of Vanitas, 1 Window, 1 Construct, and 1 Apocalome. Side deck here, we have 1 Maximus, 2 copies of Droll, triple copies of the Ghost Mourner, triple Nibiru, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, with triple copies of Evenly Matched, wrapping up. I want to say that this is just Sacred Beast Dogmatica, which sounds really cool in name. How well it functions on paper, I'm not quite sure on, but alright, I've heard good things from the duels that was testing this, though. And it came up with some interesting results, nonetheless. Next up, we have more Plunder Patrol, matey. Now, this is from a remote duel tournament. It was posted on Ready for Duel, and I figured we'd go ahead and cover this and show some love out here to your Dogmatica, or to your Plunder Patrol players, because really any information on this deck is good information. Whether or not it fails or it does good, the community wants to see how this deck is operating. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring, triple copies of Bluebeard, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, triple copies of Golden Hair, 1 copy of the Hop Ear Squadron. This is an interesting tech choice in here. I like this. Triple copies of Redbeard and triple copies of Whitebeard. And then we have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 2 copies of the Emblem, 2 copies of Plunder Patrol Ship Shaping, Ships Shipping. God, I hate that name. We have triple the Shipyard, and we have triple copies of Pot of Desires, with 1 copy of Terraforming. Then we have triple Infinite Permanents, triple copies of Booty, and 2 copies of Solemn Strike, wrapping up the main deck here. Extra deck. But of course, we have to have the 1 Almirage, the triple copies of the Plunder Patrol Blackbeard Captain, 1 Totally Awesome, 2 Morik, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 Dweller, 1 Vulcan the Divine, 2 copies of Bran, 1 Dragite, 2 copies of Lys, with 2 copies of Lancia, 1 Scythe, triple Nibiru, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Forbidden Chalice, 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Artifact Sanctum, and 2 copies of Evenly Matched, wrapping up some love to the Bluebeard Pirate Gang. I'm really glad to see that even now, Plunder Patrols are acting as this rogue deck. It's going to be a shame, though, because once events return, this deck will probably have missed its opportunity to be in the rogue category for decks. And let's be honest here. We all know that this deck is very, very decent in the Tier 2 category. Alright, I would definitely put it there. And a lot of people just don't know how to handle this deck when you're playing against it. So because of that, it definitely goes to show that this is alright. Alright. Cyber Dragons. I saw that this was on my desktop. It was marked August. I know we're a couple days behind on this, but that's fine. We got to show some love here to Cyber Dragons. Not a lot's changed in terms of the metagame here, but also we are not doing cheesy things with the Dragoon for this build. So we have triple copies of Cyber Dragon, triple copies of Cyber Dragon Core, triple copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz, 1 copy of Veer, triple copies of Naxter, 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier, 1 Jizakuru, triple copies of Gamma, and 1 copy of Driver, along with 2 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. This is kind of an interesting addition to the deck. But, yeah, your hand traps are Lily Gammas and Ghost Mourners. That's interesting. We have triple copies of Machine Duplication, triple copies of the Cyber Emergency, 2 copies of Cyber Repair Plant, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 2 copies of Overload Fusion, 1 Rev System, 1 Cyberload Fusion, with triple copies of Infinite Permanence, and 1 copy of the Cybernetic Overflow. Extra deck, we have the 1 Macabre, the 1 Inatis, 2 copies of Rampage, 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, 1 Cyber Twin, 2 copies of Infinity, 2 copies of Nova, 1 Lambda, 1 Anaconda, 1 Almirage, and 1 Zeger. And then we have triple Ghost Ogre, 2 copies of Defusion, triple copies of Heatwave, triple copies of Dark World No More, 1 Red Reboot, and triple copies of Evenly Matched, putting a new little spin on Cyber Dragon. I do think what this deck can do, with the good potential for breaking boards, pushing through aggro, and just, you still can contact out with the extra monster zone if need be. This deck did get hurt a lot with the ruling change of not having to use the EDM for certain monsters, but they definitely have made this strategy a little bit more viable in terms of what it can do via today's metagame standards. So we'll see how it goes in terms of future development with this deck. This deck has held on at Tier 2 for a very long time. It's not like it's continuously getting new support, but the card pool that it's already got has been very resilient at this point. So it doesn't surprise me to see that, hey, Cyber Dragons are still functionally doing well for players. And then last but not least, this was the PPG winning deck list for Adamantipator out of last week's tournament, right? So we have triple copies of Analyzer, triple copies of Researcher, and triple copies of the Seeker, along with triple copies of Block Dragon, 2 copies of the Doki Doki Machine Coon, 1 Dragon Buster the Destruction Sword, 1 Gigantes, triple copies of Quackimera Guardian, with 2 copies of Supplier, triple copies of the Pudding Soucior, 1 Thrasher, and 2 copies of the Tackle Crusader. Then we have triple copies of Dark Ruler Hadoken, 1 Foolish Burial, triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Pod Desires, and triple copies of the triple Tactics Talent. Extra deck down here, we have 1 Union Carrier, 1 Nightmare, 2 Nightmare, 3 Nightmare, We have 1 IP, 1 copy of Halifibrax, 1 Apollosa, 1 Access Code Talker, Mr. Gallant Granite, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Omega, 1 Herald, 1 Borrowed Savage, 1 Repite, and 1 Dragite. And then we have triple copies of Nibiru, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, triple copies of Twin Twister, triple copies of a Pointer of the Red Lotus, and we have triple copies of Infinite Permanence, wrapping up your chunk of deck profiles for today's video. A lot of diversity. Papa Robbie likes to see diversity. It's a good thing out here. I really like what's going on with this game as of late. No, not really. My game is kind of poo-poo, but a lot of diversity. So guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these decks. And well, guys, I'm out. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.